So, would homesteaders have any interest in freeze-dried food?
Well, here is a very interesting interview we did with a dear friend of ours. She comes from generations of farmers, and they have a homestead. Here we go. Yeah.
Wow. Well, hey everybody, I'm Bill.
And I'm Elizabeth, and this is our dear friend Lynn. Live simple. Yeah,
Live
say
free.
hi.
Hi.
Live simple.
Live free. And we are up here right now in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. We came up because of Pop's funeral, and we've been staying here at the farm with our friends Lynn and Wes, very dear friends. It's been
31 years since we met them, yeah.
31 years of
Yeah.
friendship, and of course they went with us to the service, and we've been spending a lot of time together, and so. Yeah, I do love being here, and I really appreciate your warm hospitality.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's great to have you.
Yeah, we're staying here because, we don't own our house here anymore. But anyway, I just wanted to introduce you to Lynn and say that she is, well, it used to be be called a small farm. Now it's called a homestead.
She and Wes are farmers.
Farmers, yeah.
Right.
How big is your farm? Like 5 acres or?
A little bit less than, about 4.5 acres.
Okay.
Yeah.
And,
Nowadays, it's called small farms homesteads.
when we met 30 years ago, we all had teenage kids.
Same
Early
ages.
teenage,
Same
yeah.
age, yeah.
And you had goats. And I thought, well, that's cool. They have goats to feed milk to all of their kids. And when your kids grew up and moved away, I fully expected you'd be getting rid of the goats, and you didn't. And,
Wes loves to farm.
and suddenly I realized, well, that's because they're farmers. That's what farmers do.
That's right. That's right.
I grew up with it, so I can't help it.
You grew up at a dairy farm, right?
Yeah, cow
Yeah.
dairy farm. Yeah,
So
that's
it's-
the livelihood.
So
of
now
the
it's
family.
just the two of you, and you still have goats. You still
And
have chickens,
Yep.
and you put in a sizable garden every year.
Yeah, actually we have 2.
Okay.
Yeah, they have big gardens.
Yeah.
You know, the goats, the chickens. At some points, you had some cattle. So yeah, and you hay.
Yeah, we make hay every year.
Yeah.
For the goats, yeah.
I mean, like real farm stuff. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And they have baby goats. Oh.
How
Yeah.
many goats do you have now?
11.
11.
11, but
Mhm.
we had an explosion like in August and then I think October. We had like 5 up till then. So we have plans for them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So every time we come over here, we get fed fresh vegetables from the garden or canned stuff that they've raised, and it's pretty cool. Basically, I mean, I know you buy stuff at the grocery store all the
I
time.
do, yep. I shop just about every week.
But at the same time, you've got enough in your basement from what you've grown and canned and all that you could survive for quite a while just on
I
your own.
especially learned that when COVID hit.
Yeah.
I said, I looked at Wes, I was like, I don't have to go grocery shopping. We could probably make it for at least 6 months or more.
Yeah. Just from your own
Yeah.
produce and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
What we have
Yeah.
here.
That's cool.
Fresh eggs all the time. You know.
Yeah.
She makes like ricotta cheese and all this stuff out of this. It's the best goat milk I've ever had in my life, and she makes all sorts of serious yummies out of it. So yeah.
But I want to ask you a question. With all the stuff that you grow and can and the animals and all that, you buy Thrive Life freeze-dried food.
I do, and I love it. I love it for several reasons.
Okay.
Well, I started out with getting it for their pineapple. There's nothing like opening up a can and just eating it, snacking on it, and I could throw it in my smoothies. At that time, I was doing a lot of smoothies, and I did that mostly to help with the inflammation in my joints. Hopefully I'm recovering from Lyme disease, and it just attacked my joints. So pineapple helped, and I would just throw that into my smoothies, and I would be like inflammation less, and
So you don't grow pineapple in your garden?
I don't grow pineapple. And then the other thing I started getting a lot of then was the kale. because I also threw that in. I thought this is great. It's a great vegetable to have on hand, and I hadn't really like grown that in our garden. I thought, wow, I like this in a smoothie. And I thought, having a can of ground beef just ready. All you have to do is hydrate it. It's ready to go. Like, wow, talk about convenience. And otherwise, I would, freeze a block of burger and then have to thaw it out and cook it. And it was just a long, when you want a fast meal. We live in a instant world where you just got to go quick and go do something next afterwards eating. So that's how I got started. And of course, you guys being my good friends, it's like, yeah, I gotta try this. But then I got on the delivery service where it comes now regularly, just about every month. If I think I'm good for a month, I will skip a month every now and then, but it's just about every month. And well, what really got me on that schedule was COVID, where I'm getting it regularly. It was the week I went to the grocery store, maybe about a year ago, maybe it was in April, first week in April, new into COVID. And the whole big refrigerator, where it's like the open chest refrigerator in the grocery store was like this big thing with an island in the middle. Anyway, the whole thing was completely empty. Not one bit of chicken in the store.
That was the meat section?
That was the meat, yeah.
Okay.
Just this one big, probably about as big as this area here. And I thought, whoa. So I'm going to order some, some Thrive, I get it. And so that, that really showed me, even though I knew Wes and I could live and, with what we had here, basically for a long time, I thought, you know what, it's just wise to have, extra cans of, meat, and I bought meat and vegetables and the cheese and
mushrooms.
Mushrooms. I love the mushrooms. There's so many. I have to go downstairs now and rearrange my pantry down there because it's. I think I'm getting another box in the mail like Monday. I'm surprised it didn't come like today. But because they said it shipped. But anyway, that's even though we have all this other food, and I even have the flour, the gluten-free flour.
Isn't that good?
Oh,
gluten-free.
It is.
We. For quite a few years after we found out that she was celiac, we searched for gluten-free flour, just couldn't find anything that really worked. Then we discovered Thrive's gluten-free, and it's the best we've ever had. And we just use it interchangeably with regular flour. I mean, you're using a recipe and it says 2 cups of flour, you just put in 2 cups of the gluten-free.
It is so nice that way. Yep, I've used it for pie crusts, and it's really,
Yeah, it's amazing.
When I have people that could not have gluten. I make a pie with gluten-free flour.
Yeah, she takes very good care of spoiling me when I'm here.
When I have the chance, I will.
And so do you stock up on the Thrive and store it, or do you use it in your cooking?
Both. I have now, I think I may have up here in the kitchen, I have maybe 7 cans open between the different fruits and vegetables and meat. I just emptied sausage bites making the vegetable lasagna the other night for you guys with zucchini and homemade ricotta cheese from here.
Yeah,
so
and she used the sausage in that.
Yeah, I had the sausage bites in there. It was so good. So and I have to open up another can of that. I'm sure I have another can down there. That's the way I do things. So and then I have downstairs in our cooler basement. I have many. I don't know how many. Dozen or more than that of unopened cans, but yeah.
Okay. Anything else you can think of? Or?
Yeah, I know. Both Lynn and I have arthritis for different reasons. With hers, it comes from the Lyme's, and with me, it's from the psoriasis. And she is a hard-working, wonderful farm wife here. I mean, she makes wonderful stuff. She works an incredible garden. But I tell you, I don't know how much this is for you, but there's just times when I want to make something in a hurry, or my hands are just extra hurting, where being able to have something already chopped and already ready to go is such a blessing. I mean, making something like spaghetti for dinner is so easy when I just need to get it done compared to all of the cutting and chopping. And that doesn't mean we that we both don't still use our hands and still do the work. I'm working hard on getting to be better and better with gardening myself, and she's been doing these massive gardens forever. But just knowing you've got that food all there, just because of the ease of preparation, I think both of us appreciate that. And then also, I think even for you, as wonderfully as you take care of everything, just knowing that you can use a little bit of something and not have waste.
Yes.
You know.
Yep. Yeah, the can of mushrooms I opened, it will never go bad,
Right.
It's just sitting there waiting for me to completely sealed, even though, it's opened, so it has the lid on it, yeah. It's just waiting for me.
Even something like mushrooms, which very few people grow their own.
Yeah, they don't grow them.
It's so easy for mushrooms to go bad. So, and I dearly love them, and so it's really wonderful that you don't have to have mushy, black, yucky mushrooms in the fridge.
Right.
Yeah.
We are preppers, and we're just starting to get into gardening, expanding hopefully every year. A lot of our friends are homesteaders, and
I think it's so cool.
there really is, they're two different things, but they both have the same goal in being prepared for the future. Though, of course, homesteading is more of a lifestyle, and you're eating right now what you're producing, and it's healthier. I'll give you that. But
Absolutely.
in the long run, we both have the same goal of being prepared for the future. But it's two totally different ways of approaching it, because you produce everything you need.
Well, not everything.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
but
like,
the
like
majority,
mushrooms.
the majority of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas
We could survive on
we
it,
pretty
but
much
it's-
buy everything that we need,
Right.
and not only from the grocery store, but also in Thrive Food. But my point here is that there's room for both.
Exactly. Yeah,
That-
I'm so happy with both. Yeah.
That if you're a homesteader, you're not going to be growing bananas and mangoes and all
Pineapple.
of those
Yes.
all those exotic
Mushrooms.
things.
Yeah.
And mushrooms. You may
Whether
or,
they be in season, in the middle of the winter, you can open up a can and
Right.
it's fresh right there.
It's
You
true.
may-
I opened up a can of cherries. I was like, I'm so curious what they taste like. 'Cause it's the first time I got the cherries, and just lay them on a plate and then sprinkle them. And I did that, and I almost couldn't wait till I popped one that was already, just freeze dried, and this is so good.
And really being able to have stuff when it isn't necessarily in
Yep.
season. Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. And there's just something, cheeses. How many people really make their own cheese? So having some on hand
Right.
that you can always use.
Right.
Yes.
And with the cherries, I thought, I can make a cherry pie.
That's
I don't
right.
need to go buy any pie filling. I can make it.
so like with
My own
Lynn,
cherry pie.
and with other homesteaders, I know they grow the majority of what they need, but they augment it with Thrive Life. We're kind of the other way around. We have pretty much everything we need with Thrive Life for quite a while, but we're starting to grow a garden to augment what we're doing and hopefully make our food storage last longer, because we're going to be augmenting it with the food that we produce.
Learning to grow more of our own food, more greens, the fruit trees, picking some of the berries that we found around. Even to the point of us, putting up some meat and doing it ourselves. And learning to can. This is, you're coming from a tremendous farming background to just augmenting things with the Thrive Life. We're coming from, the Thrive Life, like he said, and learning. There's a lot of these skills and stuff that also then make us itty bitty homesteaders. We're learning how to garden. We get wonderful eggs from Barry's flock of ladies. Barry's got chickens and
They visit us on a regular basis.
they're so cute. That little flock comes down to visit us. But we get eggs from them, and of course they homestead. But we're learning. We're starting to really work on trying to grow things ourselves, and it's a satisfying, and it's also just a way of being able to kind of take care of things when maybe there is an emergency. And I love knowing that if we end up in a situation that strips the shelves, like we've been dealing with for a while now, I don't have to be one of the people that's in there having to take something that maybe somebody else really needs. In other words, we're out of the way. If other people, they can get in there and to try to find the things that they need.
Right.
Even like sharing with someone that I love very much who never thought about having enough toilet paper around. I was able to share some toilet paper back during the toilet paper crunch, because we just kind of kept ahead on it, So, it's not such a catastrophe if we get all these empty shelves. And we want everybody to have that sense of, we're okay even if, even if the shelves do seem to be empty.
Yeah, a lot of people with COVID hitting, a lot of people panicked. That's why the shelves were empty. And we have been condemned for being hoarders because we're preppers, and they're saying, why are you hoarding all of this stuff when everybody else needs it? It's actually the opposite, because a hoarder is someone who goes in and they only need one package, but they buy 10, and then the people can't get it.
Yeah, then the shelves become emptied very quickly.
As preppers, we have all that at home, but we've taken a long time to buy it or produce it, so that when the crisis hits, we don't even have to go to the grocery store, and we're not even contributing at all to the empty shelves. So it's actually the exact opposite.
Yeah.
So, I've been saying this all along, whether you are a prepper or a homesteader or a combination of the two, start preparing now for the future, because there's no guarantee that this is going to let up. And even if it does, look at what happened in Texas a few weeks ago.
I know.
I mean, that kind of storm, for Texans, it just wasn't even in the radar. What was that, like a 100-year storm or something down there?
Yeah.
You guys in Texas, you just didn't have a clue that was coming and the devastation that it could create. And that kind of thing can happen to any of us anywhere at any time.
That's right.
And always getting a little bit extra doesn't rob anything from anybody, but it means that you're set if something changes or some emergency happens.
Right.
You're already ready to go. And like I said, maybe find out that if someone else really needs it, you've got something to share.
That's right.
That's
right.
It's just really blessed and just really peace of mind to know that the storms can rage, whether it's a physical weather storm or political storm or
Pandemic storm.
Illness, pandemic.
and you're just sitting home safe with everything that you need. It just brings such peace of mind.
Well, this has sort of been Bill's saying, and I just think it's really wise. There's just no downside to being prepared.
That's right. That's right.
Even if you don't need the extra stuff for a long time, you can always use it or share with somebody or whatever.
So if you're new to our channel and you don't really know what Thrive Life is that we're talking about, the freeze-dried food that we talk about, we've done a lot of what we call Cooking with Thrive videos where we demonstrate the food. We've now got, I think, 40 or 41 videos in our playlist of Cooking with Thrive. So you can go there, you can watch us cook, we'll demonstrate it for you, 41 different recipes of how we use Thrive. And so a lot of people enjoy that. That's one of the biggest requests that we get is do more cooking videos.
And you know what, guys, we wanted to talk today about how that this can still be a good idea even if you're a homesteader, But when you watch the Cooking with Thrive or any of that it's not a commercial. We're really using it, and we just want to show you ways that we've really enjoyed using it.
Yeah, we use it. We use it every day in our daily cooking as well as storing it.
Right. And we're still enjoying learning to garden and making mistakes and learning from them, and I've loved it. I've absolutely loved it. So we just wanted to get a chance to show Lynn off, and this is such a beautiful. It reminds me of being in my grandma's house, grandma's farm. But I love being here, but I've just been glad that this even for people as productive as Wes and Lynn are, that the Thrive Life food has been an extra blessing for them, and has And that I tell you what, that pineapple is very good for arthritis, inflammation, and people don't really realize how little is actually lost when the food is freeze dried. The bromelain, in the pineapple, the enzymes are what is so good for the joints. And I wanted to find out whether that is lost when it's freeze dried. Does it still have all those enzymes and stuff? And I was thrilled to find out that if you take our freeze dried, what are you snickering?
Enzymatic enzymes.
Yeah, those enzymatic enzymes. Yes. Did I say that?
You did.
Yeah. Tell you, walking blooper reel. Anyway, yes, those enzymes that do enzymatic things. You should see me the other day trying to say eschatological. Anyway. Yeah, don't get me mixed up. Anyway, the point I'm trying to say is that I was thrilled to find out that if you take the Thrive Life freeze-dried pineapple and get it refreshed and rehydrated and put it into milk, it still curdles the milk. And that is those enzymes. that
That's
is
true,
you know, and so the micronutrients, the phytonutrients, all these things that are like that God put into this food, it's so good for us. It seems to be very well preserved, and it's so that the pineapple helps.
It
you know,
does. Oh my goodness, what a difference.
yeah, it really helps. And the only thing that gets taken out is plain old H2O water.
Right.
And go ahead. I'm
So let's
sorry.
go down the list of questions that people always ask. It's all non-GMO. There are no chemicals in it at all. No preservatives. No MSG. No salt added, except for a few of the meats that have a little bit of
A
seasoning.
little bit of the meat they season with some salt.
No carbs added. There's nothing added. If you look at a can of grapes, it says ingredients. It says
Grapes.
That's it.
Mushrooms.
It's
Spinach.
actually healthier than the fresh produce that you can buy at the grocery store, and that's because they pick it before it's ripe, so it doesn't develop all the nutrients, and then it takes weeks to get to the store. And as soon as you pick it, whatever's there starts to deteriorate. So it doesn't have much left in it nutrient-wise.
Well, I mean, it has some, but it's
compared to what it
lost.
should be.
It's
Right.
lost. Yes.
Thrive actually grows it until it's ripe, and then they pick it, and then they freeze it within a couple of hours, so everything is in there. Then they ship it to the plant where all they do is suck out the moisture.
It's a vacuum, and it's really cold. And
So
yeah.
all the nutrients are still in there, all the flavor is still in there. So it's actually healthier than the produce that you can get at the grocery store.
Yeah, it just everything has been like frozen into place. It's like, and then the water's taken out, and the from picking until it's in the can, ready to go, shipped and good for 25 years, is 72 hours or less. That they maintain that standard. You know, so
I
yeah.
can't can it that good.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, who can? I mean, it takes.
Right.
You know, it's like.
My stuff is pretty good though. I can't. But
Oh no! She has the best food. She's got great canned stuff and all the stuff out of the garden. I tell you that, growing it yourself and stuff and all that. I mean, if someone goes to a farmer's market or grows their own and eats it fresh, I mean, that's about as ideal as you can get.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same principle. Both the homesteading and the Thrive food is picked when it is ripe.
Right.
Yes.
And that's when you're going to get the most quality and flavor out of it. You know.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Two good things in one.
Well, I feel like we could go on forever, but we should probably end this. Can you tell we all like Thrive food? And it's not just we're trying to push it to sell it, but we like it. We use it.
I
We
love
use it all the
Yeah.
time. So
Love it.
yeah. So
I dearly loved it one time. We in the little tiny house. If you haven't seen our tiny house videos, we lived in a little 250 square foot RV for 5 years, and it worked out great. But Bill specially built shelves up all around in our living room, so that we could have the Thrive Life food that we wanted to use on a daily basis, kind of handy in a very small space, and so we were still able to use it. And this sweet,
they're all 1 gallon cans,
yeah,
and they're all very colorful.
yeah, the colorful 1 gallon cans, and it's a very heavy metal. Like I said, they're good for about 25 years before they're open, and like a year after you open it. Anyway, we got this comment, and it just was so cute. I loved it. And if you're the one that made the comment, I'm saying this with a great deal of affection and respect, and I just thought it was great. But somebody said, you guys don't have very much space. You're very cramped here. Why do you have so many cans of paint in your living room? Because that's really what they looked like. It was all these cans of paint. So, yeah.
One other thing I wanted to tell you about Lynn before we
Okay.
stop here. In our church down there in Virginia, we play in the worship band, and I've shown several videos of those.
Yeah, we shared one on Friday. Well, whenever it was. Sorry, you can edit that out.
When we were up here in Pennsylvania, we also played in the worship band in our church, and she played the synthesizer. Lynn was the other piano player in the worship band.
Oh, yeah.
So she played the main keyboards, and Elizabeth played the strings on the on the synth.
Well,
So we've got many years of worshiping together in the worship band.
Singing
so.
duets. Oh my goodness.
singing
Yes.
so many
Oh my
duets.
word.
Well, we both taught. I mean, we both still teach.
Yeah, right.
But we taught together
Yeah, in the
for
same studio.
many years in the same
They
studio.
both taught piano and
And
voice.
And voice, yes. And I mean, it goes back to when the kids were so young.
Yeah.
31 years. That's just incredible. But so
so-
many.
So thankful for our friendship.
Yes, me too. Many, many duets. And does she have a beautiful voice? It's angelic, beautiful voice. She's very fun to sing with. So.
Anyway, thanks for watching, for meeting our friend Lynn and visiting with us here in her home.
Yes.
And fascinating discussion to me of prepping versus homesteading.
Prepping
Plus.
plus homesteading. Prepping in side by side.
Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. We done?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. Live simple.
Live free.
You be blessed.
All right. Well, thank you, Lynn, and we love you guys. We
Oh,
will
you're
s-
welcome.
Yeah. We love you, and we'll see you guys soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
My wife and I use these products and have for a long time. We're seniors, and it's so easy to make something for the two of us. When the kids come around, Grandma will use it to make a larger meal. It's great because we only use what we need and we waste none. One more comment I'd like to make about Thrive Life Foods is that I just cracked open my can of scrambled eggs for the first time. Get it? Cracked open. And I made myself some scrambled eggs. They were absolutely delicious. I've never had eggs taste so buttery and even slightly cheesy. Delicious. Even better than a fresh egg, in my opinion. After relating make signs about losing my food at something, I don't know what she's saying there. It's probably autocorrect. Anyway, she's discussing the recent snowstorm in Texas in the spring of 2021. And she says, I forgot to mention is that the grocery stores in the area lost their food. The suppliers lost their supply. The truck drivers can't get through with the weather conditions to deliver new supplies. So it's going to be several days before the stores are really fully up and running. It's good to have food when you need it. It certainly is. And Kelly Ash says, I love the Thrive Life chopped onions. Well, so do we, Kelly. We haven't chopped and sliced and cried over an onion in years.